Hi guys, my name's Robert and I'm going to be taking you through MelSoft on Mitsubishi GX Developer version 8. What we're going to do is there's going to be a series of videos on how to use the software and how to do a little bit of programming and editing. First of all, I'm going to show you how to start up a new project. So first of all, we've started the software up, as you can see. Just take note that the majority of the buttons here are disabled. We can't do anything with those until we actually create or start a new project, and some of these will continue to be disabled depending on the PLC type that we use. GX Developer is very good in the sense that it does a whole series of PLCs that Mitsubishi produce, unlike some of the other manufacturers of PLCs, Allen Bradley, Siemens, etc., that have a lot of other software or separate pieces of software for their PLCs. We will be covering Siemens in some later videos as well. Just to give you a quick run through here, this little button here basically brings that screen or that list box to the forefront or to the back. We have create a new project, open an existing project, and read from the PLC buttons here. These are the only ones that are active until we actually start to create or start a new project. So let's go ahead and do that now. I can either click on the new project button here or go to the project in the file menu, and we'll select and click new project. At this point a little window pops up and we have to choose the series of PLC that we're using. In the list you'll see that there'll be some Q series, an A series, an FX series. The Q series are the latest versions, these are the bigger units. The A series are, I was going to say extinct, but are not used anymore. You'll still find a lot of these on people's sites, but you can't actually buy the processors anymore, although you can still purchase the modules that connect to the CPU. The FX series is the cheaper end of their series and limited I/O on there. So what we're going to do is make it easy. We're going to start with an FX CPU. Then we go into the PLC type, and within that series, the FX series, there are various types as well. You'll find these numbers actually printed on the outside of the PLC itself, or of course in the documentation. To make it easy, we'll just use a FX3U-C. Now the next section here is the program type. Generally the FX series can only be programmed in either ladder or SFC. We're going to choose ladder today. If we did go to some of the Q series and some of the other series, let's see if I can use an A series. No, I can't. But in some of the Q series you will be able to program in the ST versions as well, but to save time and effort we're just going to stick with the FX3. This will be disabled, you can't get into there. This part of the program here, or this little checkbox, leave unchecked. And the next section here is set up the project name. We can do this here or we can do it later over in the project save as, but let's do it here and then we're all ready and then we don't lose any of our program or forget to do it properly. If you're happy with the drive path, which I am at the moment, leave it as it is, or you can click the browse button and you can change that path to whatever directory you want it to be in. I'm happy to leave it into the default for the time being. The project name, we'll give it a name of project underscore YouTube, and there we have our project name there. You can give it a title. I tend to leave this blank. I don't really find that much use for a title. However, the project name that I give these or give my software tends to relate to the job that the PLC is actually doing. So the project name tends to tell you as much as a title could ever. Once you've selected all of that and filled in the blanks, then just click OK. Sometimes you'll get this little message up saying that the project doesn't exist. Do you wish to create a new project? Click yes. The other little window you'll get is that a project already exists by this name. Are you sure you want to overwrite it? Yes or no. If you click no, you can rename your new project. In this instance, I want to click yes. What it's doing now is it's now configuring the software for use with an FX CPU. And as I said earlier, you find that some of these are now enabled, these buttons at the top and these shortcuts. A lot of them here aren't used, and a lot of, in some of the PLCs, some of the lower FXs, if I'd chosen an FX2 for example, these buttons here would have been disabled. These are rising pulses and falling pulses. In the FX2 series you couldn't use these, so they would have been disabled. Generally along the top here we have our contacts normally open and normally closed. In our project list box now, which as I said we can turn on and off at this button, we have our project at the top with our name, and it's also repeated at the top here in the window. You'll see the drive or the pathway that it is, the name of it, what you've chosen to program it in our case ladder, and that we are in at the moment edit mode, and we're at main one step. In other words, we're at the first top of the program. In our project list box here we have access to various parts of the software. So for example, if we click on the plus here, we have main in the program under main. Main is what you're seeing on the screen here. This is our main program. This is what we're going to write our software to. If we go into device comment, if we then click or double click comment, it will bring up this little window here. This window here allows us to add comments to our inputs. X's in Mitsubishi are inputs, and if I type Y0, Y's are our outputs, address locations, and if I type M0, those are our memories, and if I do T0, those are our timers, and we have counters, etc. And all of these we can give a little comment to give the next person that comes to look at your software or to use your software an idea of what that timer or that counter or that memory bit or input or output is actually doing. I do a lot of plant control for a chemical company, so consequently we have a lot of valves, for example. So I will actually give a comment to the valve to say that it's belongs to a particular tank, so let's say tank number 5, and it is the outlet valve. But also what I'll do is I'll use this alias here, which is another smaller comment, and I'll normally put something like the valve number, which I'll get off the PID schematics or the electrical schematics, whatever, and I will put a reference to the drawings into that section there, and then I can view these in the main program when I add my contacts from here. So that's your comments. Always comment your program. It's okay, you might know what things do, but if somebody else comes along